So you want to improve the quality of your life. Many of us do, and many of us have spent a lot of time reading books on how to improve our quality of life or engaging in other activities which in theory would improve the quality of our life. But after much practice, after much reading, we might find that the quality of our life hasn't changed much. Maybe we're looking for a deeper change. Maybe we're looking for something that we haven't quite found, so we might read more books. We might practice more techniques. The fact is that as human beings, it's natural to want to improve the quality of your life. It doesn't say much about us as individuals that we do want to improve the quality of our life. Even a drug addict is trying to improve the quality of their life after all. That's why they're taking drugs. They're in such pain that the drug is an improvement relative to where they were before. The only difference between individuals is the strategies that we use to improve the quality of our lives. In this video, I'd like to share with you a way of improving the quality of your life that is fundamental, a way that will transform all aspects of your life tremendously, because it is going to be dealing with a fundamental level of your being. Through this method, through this approach, you will be able to live the type of life that you've always wanted to live, fully engaged, an authority in your own body, comfortable in your own skin. Can you imagine how that might feel? You're going to be able to set goals and follow through on them. You're going to be viewed quite naturally as a credible individual because of the clarity that you embody in each moment of your life. But why should you listen to me? Before you decide you should, allow me to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Richard L. Haight. I'm one of the few foreigners to have ever received master's licenses in authentic Japanese samurai arts. I've received 4 master's licenses in the art of Yagyu Shinkageru, Kenjutsu, Jojutsu, and Seiguru Batujutsu, as well as Daito Aiki Jujutsu. These are equivalents to 8th and 10th degree black belts. Needless to say, it was no easy process to get to that advanced level of training. And the vast majority of people quit very early on in the process. But I have a secret that allowed me to continue through the training where most people left off. It's the same secret that took me from being functionally illiterate to becoming a best-selling author with 3 books under my name. Most importantly, the secret that I employ has improved the quality of my daily life. The method that I use gets rapid, powerful results. I'm hearing back from people that I've taught this to, and what I'm hearing is just absolutely incredible. It really, really works. And my goal is to get this out to the world in the best way possible. But before I share this method with you, I'd like to share a certain mindset. A mindset that I learned through my training with in the samurai arts in Japan. Most people are looking for techniques and methods to improve the quality of their lives, and also mindsets, thinking that the technique, the method, or the mindset is what is going to improve their quality of life. When in reality, the technique, method, or mindset is just the vehicle that could potentially lead to a fundamental change that could ripple through all of your life. So long as you're stuck with the method or the technique, you're quite limited because you're not really dealing with the principle, but the form. What I'd like to share with you is a mindset that will be directed towards discovering the principle and using that principle to elevate the base level of your conscious awareness so that whatever you do is benefited. For whatever you do, your perception is involved. If we can clear your perception, if we can heighten your awareness, then what is it that wouldn't improve in your life? Fundamentally, in order to improve the base level of our life and therefore upgrade the entire content of our lives, we need to get down to the very fundament of perception. And just learning a technique or a method or a philosophy is not going to get us there, although they can help. What's important isn't learning a technique. We've learned lots and lots of things. We might have a mind filled with different methods and techniques. We may have a closet full of self-help books, but in the end, we just have more mental noise as a result. Some people feel like taking their books out and burning them. They get so frustrated, and it's understandable. The secret isn't knowing lots of techniques. The secret is having one method that works very, very well for you that you practice every day. Even if it's a short period of time, that you practice every day is essential. Why is it that practice every day is the key and not just knowing something? Practicing it in an embodied way is essential. It's because what happens when you sleep is that your brain goes through changes at that time, what's called neuroplasticity. That which you've practiced, that which has impacted you during the day, is what your brain is going to reinforce. And that which you have not practiced, your brain will remove resources from. So you have neural pathways, and whichever the strongest neural pathways are those are the pathways that are going to determine how you navigate through the world. They're going to determine how you handle experiences. They're going to determine the way you think, feel, and react. And so if we can find a method that transforms us at a fundamental level so that our thinking, reactions, emotions, and all these things are transformed toward more clarity, and we practice that on a daily basis, our lives cannot help but to improve. And this is what I discovered. When I was in Japan, I trained in the martial arts quite extensively. And as I got advanced, I became a private student of my instructor, Osaki Shizen. And through that training, we began doing a deep, deep exploration of meditation, not the type of meditation that you've ever heard of. So the type of meditation that we know of, especially in the West and mostly in the East as well, is what I will describe as only half of the realm of meditation. This is the exploration of meditation through concentration. We're concentrating on a certain point. We may concentrate on our breathing. We may concentrate on a certain thought or a mantra. These are forms of concentration. That's only half of what meditation is. The other half is exactly the opposite of that. Opening awareness in every direction. Not concentrating, but relaxing into holistic awareness. With eyes opened, ears open, all of the senses available through motion, through action, through walking, through talking, through being. This was the way of the samurai, and this is a way that has largely been lost to the world. This is the way that I would like to share with you. And so today I'm going to share a basic method that's going to help you to transform that fundamental level. But just knowing the method and practicing it once or twice here and there isn't going to have the impact that you're really aiming for. It has to be something that you apply every day in a very specific way. Also, once we learn the basics, we'll learn how to manipulate them in many different ways. These are all things that I will teach. Today, I'm going to teach you the basic method so that you can begin exploring it and you can open your eyes to the fact that there is a whole other form of meditation that is profound, to say the least, in its ramifications. I call what I teach the warrior's meditation. And the way that we can look at the warrior's meditation is by comparing warriors on the battlefield. So we have the most novice type basic warrior on the battlefield. He doesn't have that much technique. He's had a rudimentary training, and he's on the battlefield surrounded by opponents. He's full of anxiety. He's trying to anticipate who's going to attack first and in what way. And in that anxiety, he exhausts himself and ultimately is defeated, probably rather rapidly. Then you have the adept warrior. He knows many strategies. He's practiced and ingrained many techniques into his body. He may have experienced battle before, but he's still in the mental realm of strategy and tactics, and he's still trying to anticipate what other people are going to do. And so, given time, he will exhaust, and eventually the opponents, using their feints, will find an opening and possibly kill him. Then there's the master samurai, who is as relaxed as a cat resting in the peonies. There is no thought of strategy or tactics. There's only a profound, cutting clarity, a vibrance that shines through his senses. And he merely stands waiting, allowing the answer to unfold on its own. And by means that he himself doesn't understand, he walks off that battlefield unharmed. The basic method that I'm going to teach you is aimed towards becoming that vibrantly aware calmness that the master demonstrates on the battlefield. It matters not if you're male or female, if you consider yourself a warrior or not. It is the clarity, the vibrant awareness that transforms our life, not the technique. And that clarity and vibrant, transformative awareness doesn't exactly come from the technique, but from the time spent practicing the technique, and when we sleep, the brain's transformation that occurs, the neural pathways that develop and refine, the old pathways that die away. That's what brings about the vibrant awareness. The technique is just the vehicle, but that vehicle needs to be driven every day. Okay, let's get started. Today I'm going to teach you the first vital step in a 6-step process. With this step, you can get started on your own and get a little bit of an experience of what it is I'm talking about. And through this first step, your brain waves are going to make a shift if you practice this just a little bit. Normally, a human being in modern society is in what is called beta brainwave or beta wave. And the brain is essentially in a state of agitation or stress, concentration, focus, and this sort of thing. It creates a nervous system response, which is generally just sort of agitation, and it's a lack of awareness. The beta state is essentially the state of holding knowledge, being absorbed in the self, or certainly being out of the present. And what's going to happen is through this first step in the process, we're going to make a shift from beta to alpha. An alpha wave is indicative of a meditative state of mind. It's an indicator of awareness. And this is where we want to start spending a little bit more of our time each day so that the nervous system can go to its healthy zone, as well as to train the brain through neuroplasticity every night when we sleep, as long as we practice this every day, to make an adjustment, to reallocate resources away from pathways of stress, pathways of self-absorption, and toward pathways of presence, of awareness, of interconnectivity with life, towards that alpha brain tendency that we're aiming for. The other steps, which I'm not going to pass on to you in this video today, those you can find on my website. I'll give you the link, but there's a link below. But those other steps are going to take that basic alpha wave and take it much further, deeper, and more expanded. So the first step is going to be, again, if we think of that warrior on the battlefield, they're aware. Their awareness is not stuck in one direction. Normally we use our eyes, it's very focused. And if we focus on somebody in front of us who's attacking us, we oftentimes won't see the hands and the legs coming. We want to open up our peripheral vision so that there's greater awareness. The type of awareness that I'm talking about is similar to when we're stargazing. You might note that when stargazing, if you look at a dim star, you can no longer see it. But if you just direct your gaze somewhere else and allow the peripheral vision to take in the whole sky, suddenly you'll start noticing these subtle blinking stars that you couldn't see while looking directly. If we use that mindset, that'll help give you a hint as to what we're going to be doing here. So all you're going to do is kind of stretch out with your arms so that while gazing perfectly straight ahead, you can no longer see your arms or your hands. Your hands are essentially going beyond 180 degrees. Then you're going to wiggle your fingers and slowly move your hands forward until the wiggling motion comes into your visual awareness without moving your eyes to look. Keep that gaze. And this is the horizontal plane of your visual field. And so we'll just have that wiggling finger. Like now I can't see my hands. As I come forward, I can now see my wiggling motion. So my peripheral vision field is about 180 and 190 degrees. Most people, it's somewhere between 180 and 200 degrees. Next, we're going to slowly move our hands around circularly, just barely able to see that wiggling motion. And what we will find is vertically, we have roughly a 90-degree visual range. Horizontally, it's 180. And that our visual field, our peripheral visual field, is sort of binocular or like a pair of glasses. All we're going to do is we're going to relax into awareness of the peripheral field. Now, studies have shown if we relax into awareness of the peripheral visual field for a minute, the average person will go into, well, their brainwave will shift from beta to alpha. Now, the key here is to relax into it. Don't want anxiety, just enjoy the totality of the visual field, allowing all the visuals to come in without mentally being selective of that which you are interested and that which you're not interested in. Instead, see the entirety of the visual field, accepting all stimuli equally. And you're just going to rest in that awareness for several minutes, being sure to soften the eyes so that you don't bulge them in an attempt to see more. Soften the eyes, take the furrow out of the brow, soften the jaw, soften the shoulders, soften the breathing. Now, this is a great exercise to do when we're outside looking at a vista. You might do this in a park and just you watch the movement of the trees from the peripheral vision. You'll see how it all flows like an ocean. This is also the natural state when we enter into a cathedral. If some beautiful cathedrals in Rome or Europe, you might notice that the ceilings are very, very high, and it kind of forces you, the vastness of it forces you to open up your total peripheral vision field. And what that does is it takes us from a beta brain into an alpha brain. So you kind of get a good spiritual feeling. It's that shift in the brainwave. That spiritual feeling is indicative of going into an alpha brainwave or deeper. Now, how long do you want to practice this? You want to practice this at least every day so that your brain has a chance to develop a new neural pathway so that this becomes ever easier and that the alpha wave becomes the default. For hunter-gatherers, people that live in nature, the alpha brainwave is the default brainwave and beta is very rare. Peripheral vision is the state, the way that they use their vision as a default. Focused vision is the exception. Because they're hunter-gatherers, they need to be very aware of movement, both for protection as well as for hunting and gathering. And so what they're doing is they're essentially being peripherally aware of the space around them. And that keeps them in an alpha state most of the time. It's only when they have to do something that is not focused or something that is not using peripheral vision that they do focus. So probably 80-90% of their day is in peripheral vision state or alpha brainwave state. Opposite is the truth for the average person. 90 or 99% of their day is in the beta brainwave, which is a stressful brainwave to be in. So this is the first of 6 steps. This is a very powerful entry into what I call the warrior's meditation. But there are 6 more steps, there are 5 more steps to this meditation. And I'd love to have you come visit my website, join a free 7-day trial so you can learn the rest of this meditation and then we can start to train this in. The reality is most of us have learned many, many techniques. Some of these techniques are more powerful than others. Maybe we've not learned any that are truly powerful. But this technique This method, the Warriors method, is different from probably anything that you've ever experienced, because this is taking awareness out off the mat. This is taking awareness into your active daily life. Because if you practice this with your eyes open, and you practice this with movement, you will find that you can be in clear, meditative, transformative states while walking, while talking, while working, while being. So again, this has to be practiced every day if you're going to gain the benefit of the neuroplasticity. And if you're anything like me, I needed someone to be there for me every day to remind me to do it. Then my teacher in Japan provided that need. So I would show up every day for training and we would do this. And if it weren't for him, I probably wouldn't have had the depth and breadth of neuroplasticity and awareness that I now enjoy in my life. So we've got a group set up. It's a social group. We meet every day live. It's also on demand 24 hours. Each video that's recorded every morning. I get up 7. I'm on at 7 teaching this meditation. It's only 15, 20 minutes. Those who can attend live, we enjoy it together live. And those who can't, they have access to that video on demand each day. And of course, that creates a need for you to show up, put in the time. Even if it's only 15 minutes, that's enough. In fact, you'll find that when you meditate alone, you're getting about 10% of what you'll get when you're meditating with me in the group. There's a harmonic effect that occurs. And so I'd like you to be a part of that. Even the recorded videos, they're going to help you so much more than when you're meditating alone. Several other aspects to the meditation is it's designed to be a community meditation. So when you go there for your 7-day trial, if you like it, you can stay. And we've got a Facebook page set up to develop community. We've also got a constant live Zoom access so that you can set up arrangements to chat with friends and have a live conversation with other meditators and become friends and support each other and hear each other out. And we've got several students doing that now, and it's really been such a blessing. So this subscription, if you join and decide to stay, this subscription is for your screen, not just for you. So when you sign in to watch the videos, you're seeing that on your video screen. If you have 100 people in your living room meditating with you, that's wonderful, because that's going to develop a support network. Have your family there with you. Do it every night at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. or in the morning with your family before everyone goes to school. And this is going to develop a support network. Have your friends come over, tea and crumpets, meditate, and then chat afterwards. Whatever it is it's going to get more people involved. A lot of people are suffering now from anxiety, from depression, from frustration, from feeling that life is somehow meaningless, from being let down in ways that they themselves may be not fully aware of, from feeling kind of hopeless. This meditation is going to, from a nervous system level up, upgrade your game. You're going to be more capable at anything that you do. You're also going to be able to weather the storms much, much further than you ever were able to before. And the more you practice, the more resilient, the more flexible, the more aware you will be, the more capable you will be. And essentially, it will turn you into a vibrant source of leadership and awareness in the lives of the people around you. And hopefully this will spread to them as well. This is exactly what the world needs right now, is a change that's fundamental from the inside out. If we can change our fundamental perception, then everything we experience is affected by that change. That's the secret magic to this. Go ahead and click the link below for the Warriors Meditation. You've learned the first step, or at least portion of that first step. I'd like to share the rest with you.